The battle for women's rights has been largely won. I do not know anyone who has got to the top without hard work. That is the recipe. It will not always get you to the top, but should get you pretty near. It's a funny old world. Being Prime Minister is a lonely job. You cannot lead from the crowd. I just owe almost everything to my father, and it's passionately interesting for me that the things that I learned in a small town, in a very modest home, are just the things that I believe have won the election. I usually make up my mind about a man in 10 seconds, and I very rarely change it. A world without nuclear weapons would be less stable, more dangerous for all of us. The spirit of envy can destroy, it can never build. The problem with socialism is that you eventually run out of other people's money. Standing in the middle of the road is very dangerous. You get knocked down by the traffic from both sides. Europe was created by history. America was created by philosophy. Power is like being a lady. If you have to tell people you are, you aren't. Democratic nations must try to find ways to starve the terrorist and the hijacker of the oxygen of publicity on which they depend. I owe nothing to women's lib. To me, the consensus seems to be the process of abandoning all beliefs, principles, values, and policies. So it is something in which no one believes and to which no one objects. Pennies do not come from heaven. They have to be earned here on earth. You don't tell deliberate lies, but sometimes you have to be evasive. If you set out to be liked, you would be prepared to compromise on anything at any time, and you would achieve nothing. I don't mind how much my ministers talk, so long as they do what I say. It pays to know the enemy, not least because at some time you may have the opportunity to turn him into a friend. I love argument, I love debate. I don't expect anyone just to sit there and agree with me, that's not their job. Plan your work for today and every day, then work your plan. You may have to fight a battle more than once to win it. Disciplining yourself to do what you know is right and important, although difficult, is the high road to pride, self-esteem, and personal satisfaction. If you lead a country like Britain, a strong country, a country which has taken a lead in world affairs in good times and in bad, a country that is always reliable, then you have to have a touch of iron about you. If you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. I am in politics because of the conflict between good and evil, and I believe that in the end good will triumph. It is not the creation of wealth that is wrong, but the love of money for its own sake. There can be no liberty unless there is economic liberty. It may be the cock that crows, but it is the hen that lays the eggs. No one would remember the Good Samaritan if he only had good intentions. He had money as well. People think that at the top there isn't much room. They tend to think of it as an Everest. My message is that there is tons of room at the top. I always cheer up immensely if an attack is particularly wounding because I think, well, if they attack one personally, it means they have not a single political argument left. There is no such thing as society. There are individual men and women, and there are families. Any woman who understands the problems of running a home will be nearer to understanding the problems of running a country. One of the things being in politics has taught me is that men are not a reasoned or reasonable sex. I am extraordinarily patient, provided I get my way in the end. Nothing is more obstinate than a fashionable consensus. You and I come by road or rail, but economists travel on infrastructure. What is success? I think it is a mixture of having a flair for the thing that you are doing, knowing that it is not enough, that you have got to have hard work and a certain sense of purpose. Of course, it's the same old story. Truth usually is the same old story.